Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. Now, reviews are out of Justice League, the movie. A lot of movie critics, a lot of movie movie goers have mixed feelings, mixed reviews on this particular movie. Now, a lot of people are pointing to how much revenue this movie has made thus far. And let's just be fair and be honest. We're only talking about what this movie did for the past 4 days, and it managed to rank up $92 million. Now, that's a lot of money, okay? But you have to face facts and face reality. This movie, it took $300 million to produce and make this movie, okay? And $92 million is a lot of money, but I feel like a lot of people is looking at the $300 million and then the $92 million and saying, oh, this is a flop. And people are not putting in what this movie is going to make in a month's time in the theaters, plus overseas, plus pay-per-view, DVD, Blu-ray, the director's cut, an exclusive, a license to either Netflix or Hulu. That's down the avenue. So a lot of people are not putting in the other avenues that this movie can possibly make when it comes to revenue, okay? And a lot of people are pointing to the fact that the Avengers at that time, in a 3 or 4 day span, managed to make $200 million. Now, the Avengers was released in the summer. And typically when you have a big blockbuster movie, that's where you want to premiere it. And I think they was trying to do this with Justice League, the movie, but due to delays in production and direction, where they want this movie going, plus the directors, they had 2 directors midway through production of this movie, okay? Not to mention Ben Affleck. I'm pretty sure he wanted to add his 2 cents and produce how they should, when you're talking about Batman, in the Batman universe, okay? Now, as a comic book goer, you know, I read comic books when I was very, very young, and to me, this has always been like this since the beginning of time. The Marvel universe, the Marvel characters and heroes are more iconic than the DC characters, okay? Now, back way before I was born, it was more so DC than Marvel, okay? And I believe DC came out first and implemented their characters, and then Marvel came at a later date, okay? But that's neither here nor there. Still, the Marvel characters are more iconic and more popular today, even when I was a kid, okay? Secondly, I felt like when you're talking about Justice League, the movie, and you look at the characters they chose to make a movie out of, to me, Cyborg is the weakest link. Cyborg was never in the Justice League. He was more so with the Teen Titans. That's neither here nor there. That's if they wanted to go that route, that's fine. But I felt like Cyborg as a character will be hard to develop in a big production movie like this, okay? Me personally, if I had any say so, I would have kept the original cast of Justice League, either Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, or or Green Arrow. One of those characters would have fit perfectly. And if I can only choose one, Green Arrow, because you can pair him up with Batman, and you can still have that gritty, dark, grimy look that Zack Snyder was trying to produce and trying to add that element to the Justice League movie before he stopped becoming the director of Justice League. You can have that dark scenario with Batman and Arrow, okay? And they can be butting heads with one another until midway through the movie they got along with one another, okay? I felt like Wonder Woman was a great choice, particularly with her own solo movie. A lot of people lost a lot of faith in Wonder Woman. They felt like, well, this is a movie that moviegoers really are not demanding to see. And Wonder Woman did some good numbers in the box office, okay? I feel like The Flash is okay. even though when you talk about the Flash in a popularity contest, he's already sort of iconic in today's generation, typically because the Flash has his own TV show on the WC. So that's a safe route to go to. Aquaman was also a great ideal and a great concept. They even found the perfect actor for Aquaman, and they made Aquaman this surfer type renegade, okay, which in the comic books he was never that way. So adding that element to Aquaman was a good thing, a great thing. Plus with Ben Affleck playing as Batman and Superman, okay. So you have to admit, you have to look at things with the glass half full. I felt like if they would have kept the same director, who knows how this movie could have turned out. Now, a lot of people say that Zack Snyder had other ideals with the Justice League movie, and there was sort of butting and clashing heads with the DC with the DC company and Zack Snyder. And Zack Snyder had his own twist on how he wanted the outcome of Justice League, the movie. Another thing is the villain. Villains have to be either loved or hate. It can't be midway stream or not very interesting. Steppenwolf, to me, wasn't a villain that a lot of moviegoers believed in. Okay, to me, once again, I would have chosen Brainiac. Brainiac is more iconic in the DC universe. Plus, Brainiac in the comic books have had his fair wars with Superman, Batman, the Flash, Wonder Woman. Okay, even in the comic book. And it would have been a better situation for a villain. They really didn't spend a lot of time with Steppenwolf to go through his backstory and things of that nature. And Steppenwolf, to me, was never an iconic villain from the DC universe. If you didn't want Brainiac, Darkseid. Darkseid would have been perfect, but I think he's coming later on down for the sequel with Lex Luger, and if they play their cards right, even the Joker. And then you can have the Legion of Doom versus the Justice League. Okay, so I think that's later on down the road. Okay, but when you're talking about the foreseeable future of the DC universe, obviously when you talk about Ben Affleck, he no longer wants to do Batman. There have been talk of Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a great actor. I can see him as Batman, okay? And he's a lot younger than Ben Affleck, okay? So, and plus he wants to be more, he wants to do more, spend more time as far as, worrying about the Batman role instead of trying to go through other avenues as far as directing and writing, okay? So, there's a long way to go before we say this movie is a flop, okay? Me personally, who knows at the end of the day when it's all said and done and, people are moving on to the next thing, how much this movie is going to make. I'm not going to sit up here and say this movie is going to make 300 million plus, okay? I think this movie, at the end of the day when it's all said and done, it's a $200 million movie. Okay, they're going to get a loss on this movie of 100 million, but they can make that 100 million up or close to it with the overseas sales, as well as a director cut, Blu-ray DVDs, things of that nature. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait and see. I, for one, it was a decent movie. But to me, if you had to force me and compare, I felt like the Avenger movie was more iconic and exciting than the Justice League movie. And part of the reasoning is they had a perfect script, they had the perfect heroes, as well as the villains. Okay, like I said, you have to have a villain in your movie, either one or two ways. Either you love him or you hate him. You can't be midway with him, or you can say, he was you wasn't very interested in the villain. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, I'm Chris the Don 1, and I am out.